So it's just been announced today, July 6th of 2022, that the Duffer Brothers are going to be making a live adaptation series of my favourite anime of all time, Death Note. So let's talk about it. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. If you're brand new, my name is Mike and my channel is called Did You See That? Or if you're returning to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by once again and checking out this video. So as I just said before, the Duffer Brothers have announced, and Netflix have announced, that they're going to be making a live adaptation series of the 2006 hit anime Death Note. Now, I do know that Death Note has gotten a lot of people into anime, including myself, and I own the Blu-ray box set right here, which has, of course, the original series and the relight version. So, I am going to be talking mainly about my anticipation for this series coming up and what I would like to see, but I do also want to give a heads up that I am going to be talking about spoilers of the original anime and also some of the live action movies. So, of course, when we had the Death Note anime back in 2006, following on from that directly, we had the live action movies. We had Death Note, Death Note 2, and then L Changed the World, which isn't a great adaptation, but with these ones specifically, they were done in two parts, which was pretty good. At least they try to give a bit more story and a bit more kind of try to follow the anime. So I will say that for it. There is some kind of over performances in here. I have done reviews for these onto the channel, so a link for my Death Note playlist is in the description box below. But yes, we had these adaptations of live action. We also had a later version, which I don't own in physical media, but they did do I think it's Death Note Resurrection. I'm not too sure of the title, sorry. I will put it up on the screen here. But they also did that version. And then, of course, we got the 2017 Netflix live action version, which mainly the saving grace of that movie was the motion capture performance by Willem Dafoe as Ryuk and kind of the horror vibes of that movie. That is definitely the element I like the best, and some of the kind of set locations, I will give them props for that with that movie, but everything else, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Then the acting and how they portrayed the characters was pretty poor in my personal opinion. So the live action ones originally that I just showed before, these ones have probably been the better ones as of right now. Now, if you're wondering how much of a Death Note fan I am, I've got the t-shirt, I've showed you kind of my physical media collections, I've got the all-in-one manga collection, I've got a copy of the Death Note book in general, I've also got the L Changed the World book, the Los Angeles BB Murder Cases, sorry, that's the one it's called. And I've also got the recently released Death Note short stories, which is actually made by the makers of Death Note. And of course, behind me, I've got all the Funko Pops that they released of Light, Ryuk, L, and L with Cake exclusive. So it's fair to say that I'm a big fan of this series. Now, if we take into the announcement part of things, where they announced this as a live action series made by the Duffer Brothers. Now, the Duffer Brothers are known for Stranger Things. I checked out their filmography. They have done some films in the past, but none that I've personally ever heard of. And they also did help with another TV series that I'm not aware of. So, Stranger Things, though, they rocketed onto the scene with Stranger Things. They've certainly done some great things with that series and have proven that they're capable writers, that they're capable directors, and if the series gets enough time where it can tell a story, they can produce a story. Whether you like Stranger Things or whether you're not, we're not here mainly to talk about that, but whether you like that show or not, you can't deny the fact of the success that it has brought to Netflix, especially with the recent series having a 30 million plus budget on one episode alone. That is nuts. Now, going into the Death Note live action series. So far, we don't know anything about a release date. We don't know if this is going to correlate with the 2017 movie. It wasn't too long ago that they announced they were going to be making a sequel to that movie. So all of a sudden, we're getting this announcement of a live action series. Yeah, we don't know if that's going to tie in. My best guess is that they're probably not going to tie in that movie because it was really not well received. And I can certainly understand why. If they're going to have this fresh take of a live action series, I'm going to be getting into some spoilers here about the original anime. So if you've not seen it, please go and check this out. You will certainly not regret it. And I don't think I've met a single person that dislikes this anime. But anyway, what I would like to see with this. So we know in the original anime, it's all essentially about a big battle of wits with L versus Light, who's also known as Kira. Of course, the story of Death Note is Light Yagami gets the Death Note, and with this power of this Death Note, he can basically kill anyone who he wants. And Mastermind Detective L, he is on the hunt for the killer who is dubbed as Kira and put a stop to what they're doing. So that is the basic story of Death Note. And one thing that I'm really intrigued by this series, so when in the original anime, when L dies, I think it's around episode 27 or 28, it might be 27, we of course see a little glimpse of kind of the life after L, and then we get like another side story with Mello and Nia. I would love to see this live action series maybe culminate over 2 seasons, maybe 9-10 episodes each season. It depends if they're going to go like a 47-minute episode, 55 minutes, or a special episode of like an hour and 5 minutes, whatever the case should be. I'm assuming they're going to be longer episodes, maybe similar to Stranger Things length episodes like in the past, not this brand new season. With that in mind, of course, it's not going to get as big a budget, probably as 30 million per episode, but Netflix currently owns some kind of contract to the name of Death Note. Now, I think ultimately it's Viz Media, who I know they produce like these t-shirts, but I think they probably own it. But in terms of like kind of distribution wise, in terms of like films and series, clearly it's in Netflix's hands right now. And once Stranger Things is finished, which this new season has, and then of course we've got season 5, which I think is going to be in production later this year or the start of next year, Netflix is going to kind of need a new baby to attract people to their platform. And I think this is where Death Note comes in, because this anime, even from 2006, they're still releasing, like I say, like even mangas of this series is that popular 16 years later. So this is clearly a big platform. Clearly the 2017 movie, although it wasn't well received, I'm assuming it got some big hit numbers, and Netflix, while they've got these rights, they may as well use them. And it is kind of, in a sense, a simple story that it's done in the anime. Very clever, don't get me wrong, and I'm not mean disrespect to that ever, but at the helm of this, it's a simple story, but it's so well written and executed, and sometimes the simpler stories are the better ones. So they've got a lot of material to work from. They've got the original, like, all-in-one manga they could refer from. They could refer from the anime series. So what I would like to see is this going for 2 seasons. I would like them to either, if they're going to Americanize this series, get some great actors to do it, or at least give them a good script to work with, because, yeah, Light Turner in the 2017 series, what the hell? He's never been referenced as Light Turner, and don't get me started on that. Around 8 to 10 episodes per season, by all means. If they want to do more seasons, that's fine. It depends how they're going to tell the story, how much depth they're going to give the characters, if we're going to have similar times. Because, for example, like in the original anime, each episode's anywhere between, 22 to 27 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So if you kind of pile that into 2 episodes, you could easily do it and say like a 55-minute one live action episode. You could combine kind of 2 episodes, or you could just stretch out each one. It depends how they're going to do it. But for me, I would like them just to kind of do the first 27, 28 episodes of the anime. Don't include the stuff with Nia and Mello. I'm personally not a fan. There probably is people that are a fan, and that's cool. But for me, I'm not personally. And I would like to see this anime where at the end of it all, and however long this goes on for, because clearly the Duffer Brothers have proven a name for themselves, and clearly Netflix have got a lot of faith in them to give them this big project right now, to either have it where L wins, and maybe we get an episode or 2 afterwards to explain the whole Kira situation, that it's really like Yagami who's Kira, and kind of how the world deals with that, and how that is going forward for like the police department. Or we get the vice versa, and like Yagami wins like he does in the anime, he beats L, and maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Light's world and how the world is shaped after that for maybe the next 40, 50 years. For example, does this get rolled over into America with this whole Kira? Does it get broadcasted in the UK, in China, in any other countries? You know, like, this can go all over the world, and I would love to see that, because we don't get that explored in the anime. So that is kind of what I would like to go for the series. In terms of the Ryuk design, I think Willem Dafoe's motion capture was awesome. The design itself could have definitely been done better. 100%, I hold my hands up for that. I agree. But I do like the creepiness and more of like the... Like, at the end of the day, Ryuk is a goofy character in the anime to an extent. And by all means, you've got to keep that. But there's nothing wrong with having a bit more of a serious take on that also. So I would also like them to use a motion capture, or as they've proven for the design of Vecna in Stranger Things Series 4, maybe a practical makeup for Ryuk. And have for the scenes where, like, the big wings and he's flying. At the end of the day, like when Max is up in the graveyard scene in Season 4, they could easily do that on the wires, but for Ryuk. You know, that's not too difficult to do, I would have thought. They do it in plenty of other movies and series. So I would like to see a practical effects or a motion capture again. I don't want the Ryuk design personally to be fully CG, because I think that will just ruin it. And then in years to come, if this is a great series, and if you look back on that CG, it's going to look probably awful. Not going to lie, and you're not going to hold up that well, whereas practical always does. Now, in terms of the whole casting of like Elle and Light, Misa, Amani, and whoever else that they have in the series, or if they introduce new characters, whatever they're going to do, if they're going to Americanize it, get some great actors and give them a good script, or branch out, be a bit more equal, and have Japanese actors in this, or Asian actors, or have a different ethnicity actors. I honestly don't mind who the actors are in this series, as long as they are characters that we know from the anime, they're faithful to them, but also give them maybe a bit more of their own personalities and let them, actors and actresses, roll with the characters a bit more. And I think you're going to have a winner. You know, I'm not asking for much. I'm sure we're all not asking for much. In terms of the music, of course, we've got the big songs as like Elle's individual theme song, the original theme song for the anime, Light's song, etc. They can certainly just use those songs, maybe remix them a little bit, or have new bands and give a chance for new bands to maybe record their renditions of those themes. That'd be really cool in terms of the music choices, and definitely, ultimately, the music choices play a big part, especially in some big key scenes that happen. Of course, with the original anime also, there isn't anything too fancy about set location scenes. You've got like a school, like a train station, a police station, Light's house, for example. So there isn't anything crazy in terms of like set locations, so they would be probably be easy enough to do. I would love for this to be a series where it brings brand new people into the world of Death Note, but also paying homage and also respecting the original source material and giving big fans like myself of Death Note a series to truly remember. But yeah, what are your expectations of Death Note? Are you happy of this live action announcement? Are you excited for it? Are you on the fence about this whole thing? Leave any and all comments down below. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.